Have a nice day, children. Video session is History Unit 5 Social and Religious Reform Movements in the 19th Century. English education, introduced with the object of producing clerks, also produced a new English educated middle class. This class came under the influence of Western ideas and thoughts. The educated middle class began to take a lead in political as well as in reform movements. The Indian reformers, their ideas and their actions helped to mitigate social evils such as sati, female infanticide, and child marriage, and various superstitious beliefs. The reform movements of 19th century of religion fall under two broad categories. First one is reformist movements, then Aligarh movement. Under reformist movements, Brahma Samaj, the Prarthana Samaj. Then under Aligarh movement, that is reformist movements and revivalist movements. Under reformist movements, Brahma Samaj, Prarthana Samaj and Aligarh movement. Under revivalist movements, Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission and Deoband movement. There were also attempts to challenge the oppressive social structure Papule in Pune, Narayana Guru and Ayyan Kali in Kerala, and Ramalinga Adigal and Ayodhi Dasar of Tamil Nadu. First personality is Raja Mohan Rai. This is under early reform movements in Bengal. Rajaram Mohan Rai and Brahma Samaj. His period is 1772 to 1833. He was a great scholar, well versed in Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian and English and Bengali. He was opposed to meaningless religious ceremonies. In his religio-philosophical social outlook, he was deeply influenced by monotheism and anti-idolatry. He argued Hindus preached monotheism and worship of one god. Under Upanishads. Deeply concerned with the prevailing customs of sati, child marriage and polygamy, he advocated the rights of widows to remarry. He wanted polygamy to end. He appealed to reason and humanity and compassion of the people. His campaign played a key role in forcing the Governor General William Bending's legislation abolishing sati in 1829. He condemned the subjugation of women and opposed the prevailing ideas that women were inferior to men. He strongly advocated education for women. He gave his full support for the introduction of English language and Western sciences in schools and colleges. He founded the Brahma Samaj on 20th 1828. He opened a temple in Calcutta where there was no image. The Samaj forbade idol worship and condemned meaningless religious rites and ceremonies. Though the Samaj failed to attract the people from the lower section of society, its impact on the culture of modern Bengal and its middle class was quite significant. Next personality is Maharishi Debendranath Tagore. His period 1817 to 1905. He laid down 4 articles of faith. In the beginning there was nothing. The one supreme being alone exists who created the universe. He alone is the God of truth, infinite wisdom, goodness and power, eternal, omnipresent, the one without second. Our salvation depends on beliefs in Him and in His worship in this world and the next. Belief consists in loving Him and doing His will. Next personality, Keshav Chandra Sen and Brahma Samaj of India. His period 1838 to 84. He joined the movement in 1857. He left the Samaj and founded a new organization. Debendranath's organization thereafter came to be known as Adi Brahma Samaj. After Keshav, had his 14-year-old daughter married to an Indian prince in contravention of the Samaj's condemnation of child marriages to opponents of child marriage, left the Brahma Samaj of India and started the Sadharan Samaj. Next, Aishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. His period 1820 to 91. While Ram Mohan Roy and others looked to Western rationalist ideas to reform society, Vidyasagar argued that the Hindu scripts were progressive. He provided evidence from scriptures that there was no sanction for banning of widows or the prohibition on the remarriage of widows. He played a leading role in promoting education of girls and helped them in setting up a number of schools. He decided his whole life for the betterment of the child widows of the Hindu society. The movement led by Vidyasagar resulted in the Widows Remarriage Reform Act of 1856. Prarthana Samaj, a movement similar to the Brahma Samaj but found in Bombay in 1867 was Prarthana Samaj. Its founder was Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. His period 1825 to 98. The two distinguished members of this Samaj were R.C. Bandarkar and Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade. They devoted themselves to activities such as intercaste dining, intercaste marriage, widow remarriage, and improvement of women and depressed classes. Ranade was the founder of the Widow Marriage Association, the Pune Sarvajanik Sabha 1870 and the Deccan Education Society 1884. Next one, Hindu Revival. Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Arya Samaj 1875. In the Punjab, the reform movement was spearheaded by the Arya Samaj. It was founded by a wandering ascetic in the Western Gangetic Plain, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, 1824-83 his period. Then his book Satyartha Prakash enjoyed wide circulation. He declared the practices such as child marriage, the prohibition of widow remarriage, and the alleged polluting effects of foreign travel had no scriptural sanction. The positive principles enunciated by Dayanand were strict monotheism, condemnation of idolatry, and rejection of Brahman domination of ritual and social practices. He also rejected superstitious beliefs in Hinduism, and his cry was, "Go back to Vedas." The primary achievements of the Arya Samaj were in the field of social reform and spread of education. The Samaj started a number of Dayananda Anglo-Vedic schools and colleges. Next personality, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, his period 1836 to 86. In his view, all religions contain the universal elements which, if practiced, would lead to salvation. He said, Jiva is Siva, that is, all living beings are God. Service for man must be regarded as God. Ramakrishna's primary achievement was his ability to attract educated youth who were dissatisfied with the rational orientation of religious reform organizations such as the Brahma Samaj. After his death in 1886, his disciples organized themselves as a religious community. Following the organizational structure of Christian missionaries, Vivekananda established the Ramakrishna Mission, which did not restrict itself to religious activities but was actively involved in social causes such as education, healthcare, and relief in times of calamities. Swami Vivekananda. Narendranath Datta, his name, original name, period 1863 to 1902. Narendranath Datta, later known as our Swami Vivekananda, was the prime follower of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He emphasized cultural nationalism and made a call to Indian youth to regenerate Hindu society. His ideas bred a sense of self-confidence among Indians who felt inferior in relation to the materialist achievements of the West. Despite his fame, he was condemned by Orthodox Hindu rituals from which they were traditionally excluded. Vivekananda's activist ideology rekindled the desire for political change among many Western education young Bengalis. Next one, Theosophical movement. It was founded by Madam H.P. Blavatsky and Colonel H.S. Alcott. Founded in the USA in 1875, it later shifted to India at Adayar, Chennai in 1886. This one is stimulated a study of the Hindu classics, especially the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. The Theosophical Society also played an important role in the revival of Buddhism in India. Contribution of Annie Besant. In India, the movement became further popular with the election of Annie Besant as its president after the death of Alcott. She played a role in Indian nationalist politics and formed the Home Rule League. Annie Besant spread theosophical ideas through her newspapers called New India and Commonweal. Anti-caste movements. First personality, Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Govindarao Phule was born in 1827 in Maharashtra. He opened the first school for untouchables in 1852 in Pune. He launched the Satya Sodhak Samaj, that is Truth Seekers Society, in 1870 to stir the non-Brahmin masses to self-respect. He opposed child marriage and supported widow remarriage. Jyotiba and his wife Savitribai Phule devoted their lives for the uplift of the depressed classes and women. He opened orphanages and homes for widows. His work, Gulamgiri, that is slavery, is an important text that summarized many of his radical ideas. Next, Narayana Guru, born to poor parents in Kerala, evolved into a poet and scholar in Malayalam, Tamil, Sanskrit. Disturbed by the terrible caste that the lower caste people suffered, he dedicated his whole life for the betterment of oppressed people of depressed classes, that is no access to temples, streets, public tanks and educational institutions. Lower castes people, men and women, were not allowed to wear the upper garments. He set up the Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam, an organization to work for the uplift of the depressed classes. He established a grand temple at Arivipuram and dedicated it to all. Thinkers and writers such as Kumaranazan and Dr. Palpu were influenced by his ideas and carried forward the movement. Ayyankali was born in 1863 at Venganur in Thiruvananthapuram, then in the princely state of Travancore. The discrimination he faced as a child turned him to a leader of an anti-caste movement and who later fought for basic rights including access to public spaces and entry to schools. Inspired by Sri Narayana Guru, Ayyankali founded the Sadhujana Paripalana Sangam, that is the Association for the Protection of the Poor, in 1907. Next one, Islamic reforms. After the suppression of Great Revolt of 1857, Indian Muslims looked to Western culture with suspicion. The community feared that Western education, Western culture and Western ideas would endanger in their religion. Therefore, only a small section of Muslims accepted the new avenues for modern education. First personality, Sayyid Ahmad Khan. Born in Delhi into a noble Muslim family, Sayyid Ahmad Khan thought that lack of education, especially modern education, had harmed the Muslims greatly and kept them backward. He exhorted the Muslims to accept Western science and take up government services. He founded a scientific society and translated many English books, especially science books, into Urdu. So he advised the Muslims to take to English education and to concentrate on it. Aligarh movement. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's movement, the Aligarh movement, is called because it was centered around the Aligarh Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College founded by him in 1875, which is a landmark in the history of Indian Muslim education. The college was raised to the status of a university in 1920. Deoband movement. Deoband was a revivalist movement organized by the Orthodox Muslim ulema. The ulema, under the leadership of Muhammad Qasim Banutawi and Razid Ahmad Gangotri, founded the school at Deoband in the Saharanpur district of the Uttar Pradesh in 1866. The school curricula shut out English education and Western culture. Parsi reform movement. Ferdinand Nauroji founded the Ranmai Mazdanan Shaba, that is Paris's Reform Society. In 1851, Rast Goftar, that is truth teller, was the main voice of the movement. The community produced many leaders such as Feroza Mehta and Dinshaw Wachak, who played a big role in the early Congress. Then Sikh reform movements, Nirankaris and the Namdaris. Okay, Baba Dayal Das founded the Nirankari movement, stretched the worship of goddess Nirankar, that is formless, rejection of idols, rejection of rituals associated with idolatry, reverence for the authority of Guru Nanak and of the Adi Granth formed the essence of his teachings. He retreated the prohibition on meat eating and liquor consumption. The Namdari movement, founded by Baba Ram Singh, was another socio-religious movement among the Sikhs. The Namdaris insisted on wearing the symbols of Sikhism except the kirpan, that is sword. Instead, Baba Ram Singh wanted his followers to carry a lati. It considered both men and women equal and accepted widow remarriage. It prohibited the dowry system and child marriage. Okay, we will see about social reformers of Tamil Nadu. Ramalinga Adigal, popularly known as Vallala Ramalinga Swamigal or Ramalinga Adigal, was born in Marudur village near Chidambaram. After his father's death, his family moved to his brother's house at Chennai. Despite having no formal education, he gained immense scholarship. Ramalinga emphasized the bonds of responsibility and compassion between living beings. He established the Samarasa Veda Sanmarga Sangam in 1865 and it was renamed Samarasa Suddha Sanmarga Satya Sangha, which means Society for Pure Truth in Universal Selfhood. His voluminous songs were compiled and published under the title Thiruvaruppa, that is Songs of Grace. Ayothidasar. Pandidar Ayothidasar was a radical Tamil scholar, writer, Siddha medicine practitioner, journalist and socio-political activist. Born in Chennai, he was fluent in Tamil, English, Sanskrit and Pali languages. He campaigned for social justice and worked for the emancipation of the untouchables from the caste clutches. He considered education as an important tool for empowerment and became the driving force behind the establishment of several schools for the untouchables in Tamil Nadu. In 1882, John Ratnam and Ayothidasar established a movement called Dravida Kazhagam and launched a magazine called Dravida Pandian in 1885. He founded the Dravida Mahajana Sabha in 1891 and organized the first conference of the association at Nilgiris. He started a weekly journal, Oru Paisa Tamilan, in 1907 and published it until his demise in 1914. Thank you, ma. Take care. Learn properly.